course. I mean, I like the fact that we were really laboring offensively. That was obvious. And at half, we said, okay, you got to take the good looks. I thought we got hesitant. We passed up shots. We said we're going to try to go inside a little more offensively. We're going to try to, if we can push it, and even though our score doesn't suggest it, we did get a few bust-out baskets and get on the offensive glass, throw it inside, find different ways. But when the rhythm shot's there, don't hesitate, take it. But the one thing we agreed on in there is don't give any ground defensively. When you're struggling like we were offensively, you say just be as great as we can defensively. And it wasn't pretty, but, you know, we were struggling with our shot. We're not the greatest outside shooting team, but we just said, all right, we're going to play defense. We're going to win it with our defense. And both teams were very fatigued. You could see that. It was going to be who could outlast who. And, you know, our guys showed some good effort, obviously, that way.
Chris.
How much was fatigue from last night, some tough minutes last night, a factor? And how much of a lesson can this be for future periods when you have a couple of games in a short period of time?
Yeah, I mean, I think we looked fatigued. We did. And I told the guys that. Both teams are going to be fatigued. They had two guys play 40 minutes last night. They're two main guys. We had guys playing in the high 30s because of how the game played out. And, you know, we play very hard defensively, and we got good looks, but that was a factor, but it's what you do with it. I read a quote, actually, before the game in a book called Boys in the Boat, and it was about what you do if you want to get to the upper echelon of rowing. It was like what you do. The pain's going to be part and parcel of it. It's what you do with it. Everybody's going to face fatigue, mental fatigue, physical fatigue, but it's how you respond and what you do with it that will determine it. And it looked like at halftime we weren't doing too well with it because we got a little shook or a little discouraged, and we were forcing, like, as far as driving into the lane. But I think we sort of readjusted in the second half, and a couple buckets went in, and then our defense clamped down even more.
Okay, Caroline.
It's a good book, by the way.
Anthony Gill's been consistent the past 2 nights and throughout the season. What can you talk about? What has he done differently? What's the big,
Yeah, well, you know, he got us some. We got a lot of offensive rebounds because there was a lot of offensive rebounds to be had. So, you know, when you're not shooting well, there's going to be some. And we said, get all over the glass. Mike, Darion, Anthony. Anthony has the ability to draw fouls, so he got to the free throw line. When you're struggling to score like we did, you say, all right, transition points, offensive rebounds, free throws, try to get it inside a little more. And we did that, you know, better because there wasn't much coming from the outside. So Anthony, you know, was real aggressive. Those guys are athletic inside, and they early intimidated us where they blocked a lot of shots. Finally, we used a fake, but we couldn't quite score over them. And then we missed some bunnies early, too, and then it sort of snowballed.
Mark.
You mentioned the outside shooting. Do you worry at all about, you know, it seems like London and Malcolm, it seems like they're struggling a little bit.
Yeah, no, that would be an understatement for sure. You know, we're not I wouldn't say we're a lights-out three-point shooting team. You know, some teams have 5 guys that can stretch it and shoot it. We've got to continue to know who we are. I think guys will get shots and they'll get better, and there'll be games where they'll knock them down. But when you're struggling like that, at least I was glad that we found a way to come out and gut one out. But, yeah, the ability to stretch it a little bit will be important. I'm sure some teams will lay off and pack it in. But I trust those guys, and you got to step up and shoot them. You can't turn them down. Just don't, you know, you got to balance your offense a little bit.
Take one in the back. Yeah.
When you have guys in a funk like that, what can you do as a coach to kind of help them work their way through it?
Yeah, you know, having played and shot a bit, I think the thing you tell them is whatever you do, you know, don't force a shot, but take it when it's there with confidence. And if you don't feel it, okay, pass it up. But you can't I said, look, at halftime I said this, what's the worst that can happen? We keep clanking them and we lose, all right? So we move on. Let's just go out there, be great defensively, balance our offense a little bit, and when it's there, shoot it and don't even worry about it. Shoot it the right way, but don't get yourself all, you know, neck up stuff, because you can't, should I shoot it? Shoot it. If it's a good shot, I'll tell you, good shot, we move on. And that's really all you can do. You know, it's like, I guess when you're golfing in 5-foot putts, or you just get the yips or whatever, you try to make a good stroke and stay with it, and then on to the next and have short memories, because you have to. And I thought early we were kind of being too passive, too hesitant, passing up shots, and that didn't do anything for us. We tried to play a little faster in terms of getting up the floor a little more, and if the rhythm shot's there, take it and don't sweat it. So.
Okay. Take one in front.
With playing two big men early, Darion and Mike, why not feed the post, especially with a height advantage and guys?
Well, yeah, I think in the second half, we weren't looking inside, and we're like, we got to go inside more. But they actually played a little volleyball with some of our shots early. You know, when we drove, those were some athletic guys, and we had a little trouble. But I think we reestablished, we got to get some touches. We got to get AG the ball in there, Mike, Darion, and I thought we were better than that in the second half. And I think, again, we got so many wide open looks in the first half, and we took them, we were missing them. We said, let's reestablish an inside game.
Okay. Caroline.
Obviously, big week coming up with Maryland and VCU, both coming up this week in the next 7 days. What can you take away from this tournament?
Yeah, I mean, we certainly got things to work on. We'll address those to the best of our abilities. We know, obviously, it'll be quite an atmosphere and a very good Maryland team. They're playing at a high level, and you'll have to be ready, and we're familiar with each other. It's not like play two Big Ten teams in a row. That doesn't seem, it's different. The two teams are playing, growing up in the Midwest. But obviously, we have respect for, I have respect for Coach Turgeon and the talent that they have. We'll have to be ready. And I'm sure they know what we do. We know what they do, and it's going to be who can get to their game and outlast. Probably have to knock down a few jump shots. Probably have to go inside some. We have to have a balance, but be as good as we can defensively.
Okay. One in front.
Fans sang the good old song after the game. What does it mean to get a home crowd when you're away?
It's great. There's a lot of UVA fans in New York, and that's neat because last year when we came for the Sweet 16, there was a lot of Virginia people there, and there's a great alumni base here, and the fact that they'd come out and stick with us past many bedtimes, I'm sure for a lot of them meant a lot, and that's like I said, the fans have embraced this team or last year's team, and I think they realize these guys were far from perfect, but they work hard, and I think the young men represent what the alumni want them to represent. They give an honest effort. They're character guys. They know the value of a degree from Virginia, and they're out there, and they know that they have to do it in a team way that I think appeals to a lot of them. And, of course, it's a chance when your home team comes in town or your schools come in town, so it's nice to have all those people there.